Welcome to the demo of MyKit. Let's get started. Thomas. So there I simply added a user. As you can see, there was camera and voice recognition. Now I'm going to log in and we get a series of apps that we can use. First off is a clock. Next is recipes where we can search pizza. As you can see, a listing of pizza recipes pops up. If I select one, it takes me to a website that has all the ingredients and instructions on how to make that pizza. If I want to go somewhere else, I can simply click the back button. This takes me back to the listing of pizzas. Next is appliances. Here we see a listing of appliances that you would find in the kitchen or controls for the house. You can select each appliance to get greater information. Additionally, there is a timer that we can set. As you can see, when the timer hits 0, it beeps to alarm you that it is now finished. At the bottom, we can set the temperature for the house. Simple up and down arrows allow you to set the temperature. Next up is the calendar app, where we can add and view events on our calendar. You can scroll through the months, and by selecting a day, see what events you have planned. You can also create new ones. Last day of class, time to celebrate. As you can see, the text pops up. Also on the calendar, it shows that you have new events that you can then come back and see what they were. Let's create another event. We are going to have a party tonight. This new event was added to your list of already existing events. Next up is the social media page. Obama. Here I have added a hashtag to follow on Twitter. Baseball. This pulls real-time updates from anywhere in the world. Next, we can stream slideshows from Flickr. Yellowstone. Photos are pulled from Flickr accounts, and when they load, you start a nice slideshow that fades in and fades out between photos. Photos are changed every 10 seconds, as well as the most recent tweet being pulled every 10 seconds. The Twitter area is scrollable. Therefore, when more tweets come in that can show on a single page, you can scroll down and scroll back up to continue reading. Navigation can also be voice controlled. Open Maps. As you can see, we've been brought to the Maps launcher. Selecting Google Maps shows a map of your current location, which can be set in the settings. You can also zoom in to get a more detailed view of your area. Next up is music. Here we have a simple music player to play any local audio files that you may have. Simply select one and press play to hear it. The progress bar shows where you are in the song. Pressing pause pauses the song. Play resumes it. Stop stops it altogether and resets it back to the start. You can select a different song and start playing that one. The progress bar now reflects the new song. Next is news, where we can select from a variety of news outlets. Selecting one loads their webpage where you can scroll through and read any article that you choose. Clicking a link will take you to that page. From here, you can scroll through the selected article, and when you're finished, hit back to return to the original news page. Selecting News again will take you back to the launcher where you can choose a different outlet. Next is Weather. Here we can see current conditions for your current location and a 5-day forecast. On the right, you also see a live radar for the entire United States. Next up is Games. where we can have some fun. Selecting a game will load it into the viewer. From here, we can use simple controls in order to play the game. Here, we show Bejeweled, a classic tile matching game. Clicking Games will take you back to the game launcher. Next is Sticky Notes, where we can make notes or to-do lists. Remember to walk the dog. Here, voice commands dictate the note. Additionally, these sticky notes can be clicked and dragged anywhere on the page. Water the plants when you get home. Lists can be expanded by adding a new to-do. Next, we will add a note. I am leaving the key note for other people. These lists and notes are persistent between users, so that we can send each other messages. Notes can also be pinned so that they stay on the page even when going to a different app. Unpinning the note removes it from all apps and returns it only to the Sticky Notes page. Up next is the grocery list area, where we can create a list of groceries that we need to buy. Here, a webcam barcode scanner has been implemented so that we can simply scan food items and automatically add them to our list. Once an item is recognized, it is added to our list along with an average price amongst grocery stores. Here we can increase or decrease the quantities and see the cost reflected. Up next is Settings to customize the user's profile. First off is Themes, where we can select an overall color theme that affects the entire application for that user. All aspects of MyKit are affected by the theme choice. Next is Units, where the user can select preferred units that they can use to display in other apps, such as temperature degrees. Finally, the user can update their location, 55419. This change is reflected in other apps. If we go back to weather, we will now notice that we are in Minneapolis. Additionally, if we go back to Google Maps, it is centered on Minneapolis. When we sign out, the theme returns back to the default. Now we can add more users. A name is not required if you don't want it. Bala. Existing users can also change their name if they so choose. Tommy. Settings are unique for every user. Therefore, each person can customize their own MyKit how they see fit. Bala can now see the notes that I left. All settings started at the default rather than the changes that I made for my own profile. When I sign back in, all of my settings are then restored. Lastly, a help button can bring up features to let you know how to interact with any given page. The help menu is different depending on what area of MyKit you are in.